Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the redheaded stepchild in the Halloween franchise. So Halloween 3 is such a very odd, very weird movie that I can't wait to talk about and give you kind of the ins and outs of this film. This isn't going to be a review. This is just going to be me talking about my appreciation for this film. And Halloween 3 is a very interesting case because you know how every franchise ever has like that one movie that just kind of doesn't feel like it fits the equation of the others? Well, that's Halloween 3, Spirit of the Witch in a nutshell. Halloween 3 came out, and it came out with this idea of it being a new leaf for the Halloween franchise. Halloween 2 was supposed to be the definitive end of Michael Myers after he dies in Halloween 2. They decided to continue on with the franchise but make anthology stories set on Halloween night. And this movie is very interesting because it doesn't include Michael Myers, it doesn't include Laurie Strode, and it's not a hack and slash slasher. This is a movie that is very kind of both mythology, witchcraft together that makes this movie effective the way that it is. And I actually think that this movie on its own is great. I think it has a very good narrative structure, and I think it's one of the stronger sequels, I put that in quotation marks, of the franchise because it has a lot of the same feeling of what we saw from the original Halloween. The score is great. It's done by John Carpenter but John Carpenter is back doing the score of this film. It's directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, who was a big, important figure on the first original Halloween. So being able to kind of have this team again come in here and make a movie that is at its core is so much different from everything we've seen prior to this franchise, I think it gives it a little bit of a headstrong start. And the thing is about this movie that works is that this movie has one of my favorite actors, Tom Atkins. I think this guy was the reincarnation of Cary Grant. He is suave, charming, he's got a camera presence. He also is very intelligent in terms of, the way he acts and the way that he portrays this character. And it's really interesting to me because I love Cary Grant, and I think that that's the reason why I love Tom Atkins, because he just reminds me so much of Cary Grant. He's also like in his 40s in this movie, but yet every woman wants him. Like, he's irresistible, and I get it. It's also the power of that mustache that he has. But this movie, the whole core of the idea of it is it's about a corporation who sells Halloween masks, and they want to kill everybody. They want to kill children. They want to kill their parents because they just want to. There's really not a reason for why they're doing this. They give you some sorts of reason, and I don't want to really kind of get into spoiler territory because I want you to be able to watch the movie for yourself and be able to kind of figure that out. But the thing is that makes this movie so strong is that everything about this movie really works in terms of, the tension and suspense. It has a little bit of a slow build like the original Halloween. And the thing that works in this movie is that you have creepy monologues. You have creepy guys in suits that are just really creepy. You have really good and unique original kills in this film. And it's not kills in the perspective of, it's like you have a madman out there. No, it's more elaborate. It kind of takes things to a different level in a more almost serious vein of an approach, to where everything that happens in Halloween 2, where you can have kind of a fun time with it, but yet it's still serious in all aspects and all nature, this movie does also, but it has a story that deals around kind of witchcraft and the spirituality of Halloween. And I think that that's really fascinating to me. I've always really enjoyed that about this movie. I actually saw this movie for the first time last year, and being able to revisit this movie again, it just really gives me a deeper appreciation for this film and what they were trying to go for. The problem with this movie, though, that the movie has is no fault to the story or the film as a whole. It's actually because of the title. People were so upset when they went to the theater to see Halloween 3 Spirit of the Witch. They expected Michael Myers, they expected Laurie Strode, and they didn't get any of that. And I think that that's one of the reasons why this movie gets kind of painted in a negative picture, and I feel really bad. that that is the case. I wish that this movie would have just been called Spirit of the Witch. But I understand that at the time, if you come out with a movie called Spirit of the Witch, it wasn't going to have that mass appeal and people wouldn't be going to the theater to see it. You slap something like Halloween 3 on there, and all of a sudden, you get people to the theater thinking that it's going to be something that it actually isn't. I also think one of the things that would have been nice is at the time, in terms of the title, and this is the last thing I'm going to mention, is I wish that they kind of came up with the concept of what Star Wars has been doing, like a Star Wars story. They could have done like a Halloween story or part of the Halloween saga or something to make people realize that this is a different story entirely. Now, granted, a lot of people probably didn't have the accessibility to the trailer like we do nowadays, so you can't even fault them for that. They probably looked in the newspaper, they saw Halloween 3 was playing, and they're like, hey, honey, we're gonna go see Halloween 3, we're gonna go see Michael Myers, and that's not what this movie is at all. Overall, I really do enjoy this film. This film gives us a lot of something different. It's very original in its storytelling. I think it's very rich, has a very good plot, a very good narrative structure, and I also think it's not very messy or convoluted. It really does what it needs to do, and it leaves you on a cliffhanger of an ending that you can kind of infer for yourself what actually happens. And I love that. I love that the film was so ambitious and the filmmakers really wanted to take care of letting the audience have that opportunity to be unsettled themselves by figuring out what actually is going to happen at the end. And you can kind of close the chapter on this movie. Overall, I really like Halloween 3, and it has its faults, of course, but this is a movie that I've come to appreciate just because it's a movie that is so much different than what we've got in the Halloween franchise. Don't get me wrong, I love Michael. I also really do love, that original Halloween, but to be able to have a story like this that is very separate, I think is a good thing for this franchise, and I'm very happy that this movie today kind of has a cult following. Like, a lot of people really love this movie, and I'm one of them. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Halloween 3 down below in the comment section of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.